morning, everyone. First of all, thank you for the opportunity given to me. My name is LUTPIYAH, student number 231230077 from the English Language Education Department, Faculty of Education and Teacher Training, State Islamic University of Sultan Maulana Hasanuddin, London. So today I would like to present my research proposal entitled "The Correlation Between Students' Emotional Intelligence and Their Speech Achievement" of 11th and 12th grade at ATTOYYIBIYYAH. So in this presentation, I will briefly explain the introduction, the theoretical framework, research methodology, research hypothesis, and expected outcome of my study. So as you know, speaking is one of the most important skills in learning English because it allows students to express their ideas, opinions, and feelings effectively. However, many students still face difficulties when speaking English. They often feel anxious, lack confidence, and are afraid of making mistakes when speaking in front of others. These difficulties are not always caused by limited vocabulary, grammar. In many cases, emotional factors also play an important role in influencing students' speaking performances. One important emotional factor is emotional intelligence, or EI. Emotional intelligence helps students recognize, understand, and manage their emotions effectively. Students who are able to manage their emotions tend to be more confident, motivated, and willing to participate in English activity. Despite its important research investigating the relationship between emotional intelligence and speaking achievement, especially in Islamic senior high school context. So it's still limited, therefore I am interested in conducing this study to examine whether emotional intelligence is related to students' speaking achievement. The research problem of this study is, do students' emotional intelligence and speaking achievement have a significant correlation, and how strong is the relationship between these two variables? So based on the problem, the objective of this study is determine whether there is a significant correlation between students' emotional intelligence and their English speaking achievement at ATTOYYIBIYYAH. So I would like to move to the theoretical framework section. The first concept is used in this study is emotional intelligence, proposed by Daniel Goleman in 1995. So emotional intelligence refers to a person's ability to recognize, to understand, and to manage emotions effectively. According to Goleman, emotional intelligence consists of 5 components. For the first is self-awareness, which means understanding our own emotions. The second is self-regulation, which refers to the ability to control emotional reaction and remain emotionally stable. The third is motivation, which is the internal drive that encourages individuals to achieve their goals. And the fourth is empathy, which means understanding the feelings of the others. And then the fifth is social skills, which help individuals communicate and interact effectively with other people. So the second concept is speaking achievement. The speaking achievement, in this study, speaking achievement is measured to 5 aspects, namely fluency, pronunciations, vocabulary, grammar, and comprehension. So these 5 aspects are used to assess students' speaking performance. Another theory used in this study is Krashen's affective filter hypothesis. According to Krashen, emotional factors such as confidence, motivation, and anxiety can influence language learning. When students feel confident and motivated, language learning becomes easier because the affective filter is low. On the other hand, when students feel anxious and feel afraid, so affective filter becomes high, which can hinder language acquisition and speaking performances. Therefore, students with higher emotional intelligence are expected to have lower speaking anxiety and better speaking achievement. So, based on these theories, the conceptual framework of this study proposes that emotional intelligence acts as the independent variable, while speaking achievement acts as dependent variable. In simple terms, students who have higher emotional intelligence are expected to achieve better speaking performances. Next, I will explain the research methodology. This study uses a quantitative approach with a correlational research design. The purpose of this design is to determine whether there is a significant relationship between emotional intelligence and speaking achievement. This research will be conducted at MAS ATTOYYIBIYYAH, Banten. The participants are 11th and 12th grade students. The sampling technique used in this study is purposive sampling. There are two variables in this study. The first is the independent variable, which is emotional intelligence, and the second is dependent variable, which is speaking achievement. So to collect this data, I will use two instruments. The first instrument is an emotional intelligence questionnaire based on Goldman's 5 components. The questionnaire uses a 5-point Likert scale ranging from strongly agree and strongly disagree. The second instrument is speaking. Students will complete 3 SPE activities: self-introduction, picture description, and expressing opinions. Their performances will then be assessed based on 5 speaking aspects: fluency, pronunciation, vocabulary, grammar, and comprehension. For the data collection process, students will first complete the emotional intelligence questionnaire. After that, they will take the speaking test. The collected data will be analyzed using SPSS software. The statistical technique used in this study is person-product moment correlation, because this study aims to determine the relationship between two quantitative variables. So, research hypothesis based on the theories and conceptual framework. This study proposed 2 hypotheses. The first is alternative hypothesis, or AGA, which states that there is a significant correlation between emotional intelligence and speaking achievement. The second is null hypothesis, or H0, which states that there is no significant correlation between emotional intelligence and speaking achievement. So, expected outcome finally, I would like to explain the expected outcome of this study. Students with higher emotional intelligence are expected to achieve better English speaking performance. They are also expected to be more confident, better able to manage anxiety, and more effective in communicating during speaking activities. So, in addition, these findings of this study are expected to provide useful insights for English teachers and students regarding the importance of emotional intelligence in improving speaking achievement. Hopefully, this research can contribute to creating a more supportive and emotionally positive learning environment. So, closing in conclusion, this study investigates the correlation between students' emotional intelligence and their speaking achievement. At MAS ATTOYYIBIYYAH, it is expected that emotional intelligence plays an important role in helping students become more confident and successful English speakers. So that's all of my presentations. Thank you very much for your attention. I would like to have